I'm overall unimpressed with the crafting system in D&D, which is a sentence that I hear often within the community. You see, the Dungeon Master's Guide has rules for crafting in the downtime activities section, but it's bare bones and rarely used, and when Xanathar's Guide to Everything came out, it expanded upon those rules, but it's still bogged down in gold costs and weird work times. Unfortunately, when I see solutions to this problem come out from the community, I feel they're deeply and needlessly complex with new tools and imbuing and enchanting, and then when they're implemented in-game, it feels like the obsession of one specific character that's going to spend all session dealing with this crafting issue. So when I sought to create a new system, I wanted two things: simplicity and involvement of the whole party. So those principles guided the 4-step system. Simple, since it's 4 steps, and party involving, since each step uses different skills and ability checks. The goal is to make crafting feel like a memorable experience for everyone that also won't take the entire campaign to finish. So let's dive into our first step: identify parts and formula. Formulas for crafting items can often be found in scrolls or blueprints and are great quest starters or quest rewards. Monster parts, plants and fungi, or rocks and minerals are the parts of your formula. But for the item we'll focus on in this video, we'll be using monster parts. The players stumble upon an ancient text, a formula for the Mirror of Reforming, a magic item that requires ochre jelly and a hand mirror. Now the players are armed with the knowledge necessary to make the item and must hunt down the ochre jelly. We meet back up with our players when they're ready to harvest the parts. After successfully killing the ochre jelly creature, how does one begin the harvesting process to get the jelly itself? This is where intelligence and dexterity checks come in, with specific skills for each. For each of the different types of creatures, there's an ability check associated with them. This lets experts in a specific type of creature really get to shine when hunting something down. Arcana, nature, religion, history, and investigation checks are needed depending on creature type. Aberrations, dragons, elementals, and oozes fall under Arcana for being magic in nature. Beasts, fae, and plants are all part of the natural world. Celestials, fiends, and undead all have heavy religious affiliations. Giants and constructs are ancient beings of the past. And humanoids, creatures like the players, require some investigation. Our ochre jelly is an ooze, so we use Arcana. The DM sets the DC for the specific part that must be harvested, DC 10 Intelligence Arcana to identify how to actually harvest the jelly, and DC 10 Dexterity Arcana to perform the harvesting. After the parts have been harvested and stored, we now need to gather our mundane ingredients and some gold. Our mundane ingredient in this case is a mirror, so it's as simple as purchasing one. As for the gold cost, I still use the simple chart in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. It never quite made sense to me why magic items cost so much, but the post-justification I make for it is that gold is a fantastic conductor of magical energy, and helps imbue the item with said magic. So, with our 50 gold pieces for our common item, and the mirror, we can say we've successfully collected all of our ingredients, and now it's time to get crafting. Depending on the item, a different tool will need to be used. Glassblower's tools seem appropriate here since we're working with a mirror. As for how much time items will take, I've departed from the work week model found in the 5th edition books, and instead went with sessions. To complete a session, you must meet a DC 10 crafting check with your tools and perform 6 hours of work. But for every 5 you roll over the DC, you complete extra sessions. This lets lower level characters complete common and uncommon items in respectable amounts of time, and high level characters feel like they're improving by drastically cutting down the amount of time it takes to create powerful items. Just as an example, a 17th level artificer that uses Flash of Genius has tool expertise, a +5 intelligence, and rolls average on a d20, far exceeds the DC 10 necessary, pumping out common items in 6 hours. Truly a powerful feeling. Finally, our recipe is complete, and all of our items are accounted for. We've used our tools and spent time crafting. Let's review. We found an ancient text for the Mirror of Reforming, identified and carefully harvested ochre jelly, found a mirror and 50 gold pieces, and used glassblower's tools and spent time crafting. Behold, the Mirror of Reforming. The glass in this small framed mirror has a yellowish tint and seems almost malleable. When hit with a blunt object, the mirror shatters into 6 glass shards of varying sizes, falling from the mirror frame. Each shard has a magical connection to the frame. When a shard is held up to the sunlight or torchlight, the light reflects and points in the direction of the mirror frame. The glass shards can be pressed back into the frame altogether and reform a solid piece. There's a brief shifting in the shards from a reflective, glassy surface to a matte ochre color as the pieces meld smoothly. The thing about this system is that there are near infinite possibilities for the rarity, dexterity, and intelligence checks necessary for an item. This truly involves all of the players, and isn't just about crafting or just about gathering, but the whole process. The intelligence check used to identify where and how to harvest the part is something a ranger with monster or plant knowledge excels in, or something a wizard might be able to deduce through wit alone. Quick hands from a rogue or the skillful hands of a cleric exemplify the dexterity needed to physically harvest the parts. And the artificer improves their skill over time to make increasingly powerful and complex items with greater rarity. But why stop at just these checks? Someone needs to barter to get the mundane items, or adventure to find the formula or blueprint in the first place. I think this system is effective at making crafting a simple yet memorable experience. But I won't leave this video with no examples. A document is down below with items from some of the creatures we've seen in this video, as well as the Mirror of Reforming. As always, the document in the description is absolutely free and something that I'm really proud of. The crafting system is something that I'll use throughout my videos, like the character boons or the modified monsters. And if you have a story of a time when your players crafted something amazing or hunted down a monster to find an item, please let me know. I read and respond to all of the comments. And finally, if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe or like for more videos like this. Thank you.